Hey guys, welcome back. AURABOMB here, bringing you another video, and today, Set 4 releases in just under a week, and I'm really excited about Set 4. We've been doing a lot of grinding on stream, twitch.tv/ABAURABOMB, and here on YouTube, and today I want to show you guys some of the decks we've been playing. I have 13 decks here, all quality, all fun, and of course, remember, these are all shells of a deck. You can change the numbers however you like. This is just kind of ideas thrown into paper, and just to see how well it does. And these decks have all performed in one way or another, so I'm really excited to showcase you these guys. So before we get into the video, you know the drill: support, like, subscribe. I believe something like 60% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So hey, if you like Digimon content and maybe a little sprinkle of Pokemon content, hey, hit that subscribe button. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and hop right into it. Let's get here. Boom. We're starting off. We're gonna start in just color order. Nothing too crazy here. Just gonna be ordering all of this in color, and we're gonna start off here with an Omni Red list. Hold on, guys. And okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start off here with Omni Red. So nothing too crazy about this list, except it does play a little Greymon engine now that we have access to Marcus Daemon. Now, Marcus Daemon is a memory tamer that gives you 1 memory every time you attack with a Digimon that has Greymon in its name. So being able to gain that extra memory while attacking always feels pretty nice. I'm not really sure if I like this more than Tai. Tai gives you extra security attacks, but it's a lot more inconsistent, while Marcus can pretty much gain you memory throughout the game because you're always going to be attacking with a Greymon. As you can see, we have quite a few different Greymons in this list. And yeah, nothing too crazy here. I'm not going to go super in depth in these deck lists. I'm just going to kind of showcase you guys the cards that are kind of like, you know, they're out there. Like for instance, we're playing the promo Agumon on this list because we have mostly Greymons in the Mega and in the Mega slot. Aguinamon as a surprise attack that you can sometimes pull off to win the game, which is really nice. We're still playing Cordramon. I mean, there's only Cordramon as our blocker, which is cool. Nothing too crazy here. Some 1-cost evolution. I'm playing the Fugamon because I like the 3-cost hard play, because this deck is only playing 4 plus, what was it, 10, 3, 6, 9, what was it, 13? Yeah. We have 13 rookies in this deck list, so being able to play at least 1 level 4 that's the equivalent of a level 3 as far as its hard play cost kind of feels like you're bumping up the list to a 14 rookies, which is really nice. I do like that a lot, while also kind of playing into our level 4 slot as well. So we have Dark Tyrannus for cheap evolutions. Still playing 4 of these Greymon because in a pinch, if we need to gain security, if we need to gain memory, we can attack with this Greymon. If we survive, cool. If not, at least we gain the memory for some of our future plays. We are playing the brand new Ryze Greymon. Not only is it good because it's a Greymon, and with the Agumon underneath, you get 9,000 power, while also being able to attack security. You also have Digiburst 2, which is you can play a red or yellow tamer from your hand without paying its memory cost. So these, you can get out multiple of these Marcuses for free, which is great, because being able to swing with a Greymon and then gain 3 memory off doing that feels really nice. We're also playing Lava Guardianmon because we're still a red list. We like to be able to evolve for cheap. That's why we have 1 Groundramon here. You can also play that brand new card Volkdramon that gives your level 6's security attack +1 in this list. If you want to do that, that's seems pretty good. I'm playing the consistency options for now, but that seems like a really good way to help win games faster. Still playing the one of Wargreymon just to deal with security type decks, just to, you know, hit past all that shenanigans. It's also a Greymon. You can easily play 2 of these if you want. Blitz Greymon for disruption and Victory Greymon for disruption as well. 2 ways to to remove cards off the board. This one has Digivolve, so you can obviously stop these things from becoming level 6s, or maybe remove level 6s off the board already. And then Digiburst 2 kind of kills some things that are 8,000 DP or less, giving you really strong board control. And of course, you evolve into Omnimon on top of that for even more board control and even more aggression. And this is another reason why security attack +1 Volkdramon could be really good, because obviously having Omnimon security attack +1 attack twice is really nice, especially if you have the Greymon underneath giving a security attack +2. You can clear the whole security in 1 turn and then attack with something for game. So that's pretty nice. Of course, Alter S helps do some board clearing as well, although I'm kind of feeling more of this Omnimon than this Omnimon in the current format, because there's a lot less lower DP guys just in the game in general, because Wargreymon is a threat, and with Wargreymon being a threat, obviously you want to make sure your dudes have higher HP than 6,000. So this could easily be trimmed out if you want more Omnimon, 2 Gaia Forces, and 3 Marcuses. That's our list right here for the first deck. I'm going to try to make this video pretty quick so you guys can see all the deck lists, but that's the first one. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be another red deck. This one's going to be taking advantage of Ancient Greymon. This deck is a lot less inconsistent than the list we just showed you, but has power in can have really big swing turns thanks to the whole Guinemon package. So if you guys don't know, a Guinemon here, Agunimon, not Guinemon, I'm sorry, Agunimon has a when attacking, you can digivolve into an Ancient Greymon for a memory cost of 2. So when you attack, you digivolve, which means even if the memory goes over to your opponent's side, you're still attacking as an Ancient Greymon. So which means you have to resolve the entire attack, and then at the end of the turn, at the end of the attack pretty much, if this card is deleted, whenever Ancient Greymon gets deleted, you can play a hybrid Digimon from your hand, which is nice. Also has the ability to reduce the evolution cost of your Ancient Greymon, which means if you're just digging and you want to evolve into this without abusing its effect, you can do that and then evolve your Ancient Greymon for only 3, which is really nice. You see very similar level 4s, but we are playing Aldemon here because it gives you security attack +1 as a level 5, which is really nice, being able to have 7000 DP, which can be increased thanks to Agumon and Gigamon as well, so you can have 9000 DP level 1. But we also have another card that can support that card, Atomic Inferno, a very insane card. One of your Digimon with hybrid in its form gets 3000 DP, which would make it, if it did have 9000, 12,000, which is great. But if it didn't have that, if it doesn't have any boost at all, you're at 10,000, which is still pretty decent. You just have to not run into any level 6s. But it gets security attack +1, which means the Aldemon now has security attack +2, assuming there's no Greymon underneath. And has a your turn when this Digimon's blocked, you gain 3 memory. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is Aldemon has a built-in power increaser as well. I don't know why I forgot it, but it's because if you have to have a hybrid or a tamer underneath it for it to work, but you get 4000 more DP. So it means you have 11,000 DP, and if you use this card on the Aldemon, you now have 14,000 DP. So that can deal with almost everything that isn't a mega. If you have, I mean an ultimate, I should say, or it's ultra, not ultimate. That's what it's called. If you also have Agumon, you go up to 15,000, which means you can dodge Chaosmons, which means at that point you're only worried about Omnimons. And if you have this underneath, you're at 16,000, which means now you don't have to worry about Omnimon either. So that's pretty nice, assuming that your opponent has 5 or less security. So this deck kind of focuses on that strategy as well as the Ancient Greymon strategy. So you have 2 strategies here. If you want to play more Atomic Inferno, I would not be mad either. This card is actually really, really cool. Because its security skill gives all of your Digimon security attack +1, which means if you have a board of just rookies, they all have +1 security now, which is crazy if any of them survive. If at least one of them survives a check, at least the first check, that means you get 2 checks off a rookie, which is kind of nuts. This actually does have, I actually do have a build that I'm not done building yet, so that's why I don't have it in this video today, but that just takes out this Agunimon and the Ancient Greymon and a bunch of megas and just focuses completely on Aldemon. The problem with that build is that it's really inconsistent, because if you don't find Aldemon, then you're kind of in like a really rough spot, because then you have to use Atomic Inferno on the other hybrids, which is just not a good feeling. Of course, we are playing Ryze Greymon because, like, I didn't mention this in the other deck list, but it does have a when attacking skill if you have a tamer, reduce the DP of a Digimon by 2,000, which does actually help you both delete level 3s on the board, and can also help you, excuse me, can also help you reduce DP of stronger Digimon so you can beat over them, which is really nice. And of course, Ancient Greymon does have a security attack +1 for every Greymon or hybrid below it. So obviously you're going to have a security attack +1 already if you're attacking with that Agunimon promo, but if you also have this guy underneath it as well, you get security attack +2 on a 13,000 power guy. That once again, the combo, the big combo of the deck list is getting this dude played at the same turn. You are 1 memory cost, right? So in a perfect world, you have, the reason why I play 4 Marcus is because you need Marcus for the strategy to work. So all you need is to have this card, if you can find it, which once again, I am trying to squeeze in more of this card, so make cuts where you see fit if you want to, but you play Atomic Inferno, you play not Aldemon, but Agunimon, and that is, you evolve into Agunimon, right, for 2, you play Atomic Inferno for 1, you attack with Agunimon, then you trigger the effect of Agunimon, which will evolve into the Ancient Greymon, which now has 3000 more DP and an extra security tech. And if it gets blocked, you gain 3 memory, which means your turn continues, which is really nice as well. Because you'll be at 1 memory at that point. And assuming, and which means if you have a Marcus, you get to gain another memory. Although I don't think it's actually, I don't think that's how that works. It might be how that works, but because you declared an attack with a Goonimon and not with the Ancient Greymon, I don't think you gain the memory, but maybe you do. Let me know in the comments if you guys know that answer. But yes, I think this combo is really cool when you can pull it off. The reason why I like the other deck list better is because it's more consistent than this deck list. Because obviously you need to pull off like this crazy like 3-card combo. 4-card if you consider the Flamemon, right? You want Flamemon, a Goonimon, Atomic Inferno, and Ancient Greymon. But that's why the other reason why I like this deck list though is because Aldemon kind of gives you 2 different combos in this deck, and of course you're still playing some megas like Victory Greymon and Wargreymon, just like good cards, removal cards where you need to. So it's not all focused on that, but if you wanted to make it purely focused on the Ancient Greymon build, or even purely focused on the Aldemon build, I wouldn't blame you. You can easily cut out some of the megas, play more Atomic Inferno and maybe more rookies, so that if you do pull off this Atomic Inferno and security, you're like super set, dude. That's why I play 6 2-cost rookies. That's it for the red list though. Let's go ahead and go right into the blue list. The first rating we're going to go over is Ancient Rush. This is going to be a quote-unquote rookie rush build. And also, I'm not even in the center of the camera. Let me fix that real quick. That should be a lot better. So this is a rookie rush build, but its big like end game big play is going to be Ancient Garurumon. So how does this work? Well, we all know what Rookie Rush does, right? You can just spam a bunch of guys on the board and attack, right? But you also have a way to attack multiple times in one turn, which is the Lobomon skill. So when you have the Wind Digivolving, you can evolve into your Ancient Garurumon for 1, which means that now you can evolve from, this is what, once again, you need 3 memory for this to work, which is why we play 4 Davis, but you can evolve any of your rookies into Lobomon, right? And then that will immediately digivolve into Ancient Garurumon. And Ancient Garurumon has a when attacking skill of unsuspending itself whenever it attacks. So you have 13,000 power guy that can attack twice in 1 turn, and only for 3 memory. And that is really big for some opponents, because sometimes you just don't see that coming. You know how like sometimes your opponents are just like, well, my opponent only has 3 rookies and I have only 3 security left, so they can't win next turn because they have no way to attack twice besides XVmon. Maybe they have 4 security and you're just like, well, I can do it. And you're just like, oh, I only have to worry about XVmon, I don't have to worry about anything else. Well, in this case you do, because Ancient Garurumon not only does it unsuspend itself, but it also unsuspends any other hybrid Digimon or Garurumons on the board. So technically you could, if you attack with Lobomon, with this Lobomon for instance, survive the attack and then evolve into Ancient Garurumon and attack with this guy gets to unsuspend, and as well as this guy, because it gets to unsuspend 2 Digimon with either Garurumon in its name or a hybrid. And that means both of these guys get to attack again. So this deck goes from like just regular rookie rush build to now I have like 30 million ways to win in attacking wise without you even knowing. For instance, now you have, like I mentioned earlier, you have so many new sneaky ways to attack. You have XVmon, which can restand one of your guys so that they can attack again. You have Lobomon, which will evolve directly into Ancient Garurumon, which will give you the ability to attack twice in 1 turn. You have Lobomon here, which will evolve, which you can evolve from a tamer out of nowhere and attack. So it's another random attack your opponent can sometimes not see coming. And of course, you are playing Marcus, so we are playing cards like Puppetmon, and you are a rookie rush build still, especially that plays Marcus, so you have access to Roarmon and Leomon, which or Leolmon? I don't really know how to say that Digimon's name, but both 5k 2000 power Digimon, which are both like they, don't deal with Volcanic Dramon, because Volcanic Dramon is only 4k or lower, which is nice if you're playing against Megazoo decks. And you have access to Strabimon, which gives you consistency because it gives you a blue tamer and gives you a hybrid Digimon, which we have these guys right here. Unfortunately, Ancient Garurumon does not count as a hybrid, so you can't actually search Ancient Garurumon. But obviously, if you can get the combo to work, then you're great. Especially since you play Davis. Davis will actually search you the Ancient Greymon as well. So Davis is a searcher, Strabamon is a searcher. So you have like 8 searchers to find the combo, which is really nice. And then you play Aqua Viper, a really good blue card for Rookie Rush, because you can return one of your really cheap 2-cost Digimon to your hand to return 2 of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to their owner's hands. Which, by the way, most blockers level 4. You can actually, this is a great way to remove 2 blockers off the board in case your opponent's trying to block up stop dealing with you. And then of course you play Hammer Spark. So that's going to be the Rush build that I think is really cool, and I can't wait to play it myself IRL. And then this is a very weird list. This is just good stuff Omni Blue. It's just Omni Blue that just plays a lot of good cards. Blue has some of the best cards in the game. You have a Gabumon that's just on play, draw 1. You have a Rookie Jamming, which is just great because you're a rookie with jamming. Like, what's not to love about that? With lots of easy ways to draw thanks to Upamon. I'm not, for some reason... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just do this. Boom. I'm playing one Bukamon as well. I'm not playing the Devimon because it's really, like, you have to have exactly Vmon here for it to be useful. So I'm not playing that. But Bukamon can remove Digivolution cards, which is great against some Digiburst decks, and sometimes it's really good, you know, evolution effects and whatnot. So there's that. You got cheap Digimon to play in this deck with Gomamon and Elecmon. You have cheap Digimon to evolve from. XVmon can restand guys. Lobomon can give you a surprise attack. You've got a blocker, 2 costs to evolve, 5 costs to play level 5. Zudomon, which gives you a memory gain as well as the ability to draw 2 cards. 2 cards that can bounce. Mach Gagomon's Digiburst lets you bounce level 4s or lower, which are blockers, and then Garurumon lets you bounce level 5 or lower, which means you can bounce things that are about to become mega. I'm trying out Chaosmon. I don't really know how to say this guy's name either. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you guys know how to say some of these ridiculous names and like where they come from, because that way I know how to say them in the future. This guy just gives you extra draw and extra memory when attacking, which is pairs really well with Zudomon, because every time this guy attacks, you can remove a Digivolution source from one of your opponent's Digimon, right? Draw 1 card and gain memory, and if they don't have a Digimon with Digivolution sources, after you reduced it, you gain an extra memory with Zudomon. So this becomes a Digimon that can attack, check a security card, draw a card, and gain 2 memory, which is kind of nuts. Mirage Gagumon at a 2-of, because the ability to evolve this card for really, really cheap is nice and consistent. It's really easy for your opponent to have a lot of cards in their hand, so being able to abuse that by evolving a Mirage Gagumon is nice. Is it better than the... what's it called? Is it better than the other vanilla level 2? It's tough to say. The other one is always 2 costs to evolve. This one can sometimes be 1 cost to evolve, sometimes even free, most of the time, and also sometimes 4, which is not great, and sometimes 3 as well. So that's why it's kind of like, it's up in the air. It's just a nice high roll card. And of course, you're playing Omnimon because we have 3, 5, 7 run guys here, 3 Omni, and of course we're playing the Davis, which is a good card. Hammer Spark is a good card. Really, you could play, there's so many good megas in blue. You can still play Metal Garurumon just to swarm the board some more, if you're looking to do that instead, just to give you more attacks for future turn. That seems okay. This guy gives you like more power, which is good because blue decks really want more power. Being able to give this guy 13,000 DP is really nice as well. So you have 2 really good level 5s you can go underneath for Galculusmon. Of course, Garurumon appreciates it as well. Garurumon is good because it's a wind Digi-evolving effect of Digiburst, which means even if your turn ends, you still get to abuse the effect, which is really, really, really powerful and really slept on. This is just good cards in blue, and if you like blue decks, there you go. I don't really have any old decks like Imperial Dramon or Shine Greymon in this video, because we've seen those cards. Like, they don't, like, you can add new cards to them, but they're nothing too crazy, right? Like, you can have Pulsman and some other yellow stuff to shine, but it seems unnecessary. If you guys want me to make a video updating all of set 1 and set 1 through 3's set 1.5 and set 1's decks, let me know in the comments down below. I can make an update to Shine, Imperial, All Force. What else is there that's like relevant? I don't know, like black decks. What is that? Red Crest Garurumon, stuff like that. Let me know, and I can do that for you guys. But for now, we're gonna move on, continuing with the list. We're going on to yellow, and we have 2 yellow lists for you. Of course, we have the Wargreymon, probably the best deck in the format. We're gonna go ahead and jump right. Oh no, haha, just kidding. This is my favorite one. This is Mastemon. Mastemon Recovery Yellow. So Mastemon actually has a lot of its problems fixed with this set. How long has this video been? 20 minutes? Okay, let's try to speed run this, all right? Mastemon gets a lot of its problem fixed with this set. Mastemon was never good in yellow because you had no way to fuel your discard pile in yellow. But now, thanks to Digiburst, you now have a really easy way to fuel your trash with yellow, while also putting Digimon that you want to bring back into the trash. Digiburst being able to trash them for us is just great. It's just really, really good. So now you get the full effect of Mastemon, being able to trash one of your own security, trash your opponent's security, and play a level 4 or lower. And you have some really good options now. You have the new GuardianGamingTCG, which becomes a blocker because you're a purple Digimon. So now you can now protect your Mastemon if you attacked with it that turn, as well as give you recovery +1 if you have 3 or fewer security cards. And of course we have Lucemon giving you more security cards, which is really nice. You also have Agumon. If your turn doesn't end when playing Mastemon, you get Rush. It can, which means that this card can attack the same turn it comes into play. So it gives you a way to push for game as well. Which is actually really cool. It's essentially like you're taking 2 security just through evolving, if your opponent has no blockers in play, of course. And you have Pulsman, which is another Digimon that can come into play. It has the ability to draw 1 card if you have 3 or more security cards, and if you have 3 or less security cards, you gain a memory too, which means you have exactly 3 security cards. You get to draw 1 card and gain a memory by playing Pulsman. So obviously Mastemon has a lot of great targets in this deck. This 7 Heavens is a big flex spot. I wanted more removal in this deck list. I don't think 7 Heavens is the way to go, but it's here for now. I'm super not confident in this card, but I wanted something to remove cards like without having to evolve into Wargreymon / Angemon in this list. But if you think the Wargreymon / Angemon or Wargreymon / Angemon combo is good enough, you can easily drop the 7 Heavens. I personally don't like the 7 Heavens. It's just in here because I'm testing out for now. But as far as the rest of the deck goes, Upamon draws you more cards, which is why I like it more than Koromon. Salamon recovers. This Salamon reduces DP, which is sometimes really nice, combined with the whole / Angemon Wargreymon strategy, especially combined with Wargreymon, because being able to reduce 5,000 DP kills a lot more guys than just 4,000. But this card is another flex spot. You can easily drop this. Yellow has so many good cards now that it's easy to just drop anything you want and replace it with more good cards. Like if you want to play more Pulsman, you can play more Pulsman. Pulsman is just good regardless of playing it for free or not. If you're at 3 member, you get to play a 2-cost rookie that draws you a card. It's like a cheaper Agumon. It's crazy. Agumon is easy to call out with some really good cards in the deck, which is great. Got more rookies, more cheap cards. Having 2 blockers in the list essentially is really, really good too, which is great. You have Ryze Greymon because Ryze Greymon can play your TK for free, and unlike the yellow Ryze Greymon, this lets you actually use the effect. And it gives you the minus 2,000 DP when attacking, which is great for Mastemon. So it has a bunch of good skills, as well as Angemon here, being able to, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, play a yellow level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying its memory cost, which means all these cards I mentioned earlier that were level 3, Pulsman, Lucemon, Agumon, if you attack, you could also play those cards from your hand, and they all have really good effects. Of course, we have Blinding Ray, TK, 7 Heavens. Those, you don't have to explain those cards. As you can see, the combo is you just recover a whole lot because you have access to Lucemon and you have access to GuardianGamingTCG, which are cheaper recovery options than such as Magna Angemon. And then you use Mastemon for like surprise multi-security check kind of turn because you're trashing security cards. Also great versus decks that play a lot of security bombs. So that's Mastemon. Of course, we have Wargreymon as well, which is a card that you can easily play in Mastemon if you want to. Just by the way, I chose not to play it because, you know, I like to go in on the Wargreymon list at the very least. But Wargreymon here, everything is the same that I mentioned in the last list. Pretty much all the cards are the same, except now you play Patamon because you could take advantage of Patamon more in this list than you could with Mastemon, and you play Unimon because you're not playing GuardianGamingTCG in this list. But Wargreymon, once again, being able to trash your own security, not even trash it. This card attacks. You get to draw a card from security, so you're gaining +1 in card advantage at the cost of a security, which will let you restand so that you can attack again. This card is insane. And it's minus 6,000 DP on anything on the board, which is pretty much all blockers that aren't like level 5. So you get to automatically kill blockers so they can't block you. Or just Digimon on the board. Also to reduce the power of Digimon so that you can attack over them. This thing is crazy control, crazy aggression because you get to attack twice in a turn, and then you can finish things off by evolving into Valderarm to, you know, reduce 7,000 DP from 2 Digimon or 14,000 DP from 1 Digimon. And then you have Slash Angemon. You have a lot of DP reduction. You have Blinding Ray. Blinding Ray is great because even if you're at 0 security, it gains you the memory anyways, which is great news. And of course, we have all the other good stuff. So this is probably going to be the best deck in format. So if you're looking to play a deck because you just want to win the game and have some good fun doing it, I love the DP reduction mechanic in Digimon, but I know some people think it's too good now. I remember back in set, like even like in the last set, DP reduction was like it was just Shine because Shine was a bomb, and even before that it was a joke. But now it's like the best thing in the game. So if you want to play a good deck, this is the deck to do it. Move on to green. I have 2 great decks to show you for green, some of the best decks in the format as well. We're going to start off with Grand Kuwagamon OTK. Grand Kuwagamon has a Digiverse skill of giving one of your Digimon on the board security attack +1, which means you can give it to yourself as well, and has a really great effect with Palmon, meaning that if this card gets Digibursted, you can give one Digimon jamming. So you can give yourself jamming as well as security attack +2. And the whole combo with this list is you give yourself jam with security attack +2, you attack the security, that is 3 checks, right? Because security attack +2, and then you evolve into Chaosmon, which unsuspends yourself so that you can attack again, and you also have piercing, and you can attack unsuspended Digimon on the board. So you can attack Digimon that are not tapped, and also take 3 more security. So you can take 6 security in 1 turn, which means all you have to do is survive the next turn so that you can attack for game, essentially. So that's really cool. That's the whole strategy of the deck. It just plays good cards otherwise. All the good green cards. This is a new card from the deck, from the structure deck or starter deck, whatever you want to call it, which lets you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Digimon card, you can add to your hand on play, so it's essentially a free +1 most of the time. Palmon gives you more DP if you're attacking into a Digimon, which pairs well with some Digimon, specifically these level 5s that you want to attack into security. For instance, Lilamon here has Digiburst 2 to rest Digimon, so that if you keep the Palmon underneath, you now become a 9,000 Digimon, a 9,000 DP Digimon that can attack over other Digimon, which is very useful because it helps you control the board. We are playing a lot of the download guys so that we can evolve from a level 3 coming out of the raising all the way to Nidhoggmon for only 1 memory. And obviously Nidhoggmon will cost the remaining memory. But Nidhoggmon is a quick and easy board clear if your opponent decides to attack you with all their Digimon, right? And like players have to be very wary of this card from now on. This card has Digiburst of 4 to suspend all Digimon on the board with 5,000 DP or less. And it's also a when Digivolving skill, so it happens as soon as you Digivolve, right? You trash all the cards below you. Suspend all of your opponent's Digimon 5,000 DP or less, then place all of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. It's a board clear for not just those Digimon that you just suspended, but all Digimon that were suspended on your opponent's side of the board. So if your opponent was attacking with something like a Chaosmon, and they have a few rookies and other things that are around 5,000 DP on the board, all you have to do is evolve into Nidhoggmon, because you can do, if you raise a level 3 out of the raising area, you go from obviously it's 0, and then you evolve into one of your champions for 1, right? Then you evolve into Argomon, resting yourself for free, and then you evolve into Nidhoggmon. So you can do all of that for 1 memory, a free board clear. It's really, really nice. Also has 13k DP, which means you can attack into this thing and then immediately evolve with Chaosmon. It's really hard for 13k to be deleted. The only way to do it is through Security Bomb or a level 7 or another Nidhoggmon or a Blastmon, I think is the only other Digimon with 13k DP. So you have lots of ways to do it. You also have access to Hidden Potential Discovered, which will not even end your turn, which is really cool. And I'm playing Needle Spray over Flower Cannon because it adds it to your hand as well as suspending one of your opponent's Digimon if it gets hit in security. But if you want to suspend all of your non-blocker Digimon, all of your opponent's non-blocker Digimon, you can play Flower Cannon instead. I'm trying out Needle Spray. It only sucks if your opponent has a wide board or like too many Digimon and you were just like, man, if that Needle Spray was a Flower Cannon, I would have not lost this turn. But I like the ability that it goes back into your hand, which is really nice. So that's why I'm playing it. It also pairs really well with the Nidhoggmon, like I mentioned earlier. You can Needle Spray and then play Nidhoggmon if you have 3 memory for the turn, which you might have with Mimi, which is cool. And also, you can do this all for free. You can do this all for 1 memory, by the way, while Digimon's in your raising area to start the turn with if you have a Mimi, which is excellent. So green, Green OTK Grand Quagamon is great, and of course, this Nidhogmon is going to be in pretty much every green deck unless they don't like playing the download guys, which honestly, there's a lot of good level 5s in green, but I think the download just for Nidhogmon's appreciation is too good to pass up if you're playing a green deck. So there we go, there's that. Next we have the next version of green. This is just going to be Chaosmon Control. We've all seen this before. It's nothing new. You just play Chaosmon list. So you play just some of the new cards that came out, such as Tentomon and Palmon, right? And then you play Argomon, you play Blossomon, Argomon as well, just so that you have downloads so you can rest your opponent's Digimon with Chaosmon, which pairs even better with Nidhogmon because you're actively resting your opponent's Digimon before the board clear, and you're playing Lilamon as well because Lilamon also rests Digimon before the board clear with Nidhogmon. And you can just constantly attack your opponent's Digimon that come into play so that they never have Digimon on the board, so that you can swarm the board before they get a chance to even play the game and then win the game that way. And then you have Chaosmon, both Chaosmons in this list because they're both good cards and they can both do different things. And especially in this build that is resting your opponent's Digimon all the time, you don't really care about this Chaosmon. You do care, this is still the better Chaosmon for these kinds of lists, but this one can come into play a lot more in this type of build. And of course I am playing Flower Cannon in this one because I'm always I'm always thinking about which one I like more and I can never decide. But anyways, enough with the green list. Let's go over the one black list I have today. I'm sure there's other black lists, but this is the one I love playing the most because I think Blastmon is such a cool card. So we're playing Blastmon Black here, so Blast Black. It has security attack +1 with 13k DP, but has a caveat of your opponent being able to block with any of the Digimon. If they are an unsuspended Digimon, they can use it as a blocker against Blastmon in particular. It means that you won't get that security attack +1. Unless you have this Ryzemon on the board, which means that all of your black Digimon with 13 DP or more get piercing. So your opponent don't want to block anymore, which is great because you have security attack +1. And even if you don't have this card gives Digimon 13,000 DP or more security attack +1, which is really, really nice because we have a few ways to make our Digimon gain DP. The main one being, or the two main ones are Gogmamon, which is a great card for Digiburst 1. One of your Digimon gain 2000 DP, which means all you need to do is use this card once, and now your Black Wargreymon has a higher DP number, which is great at 13,000, which pairs well with our final Zubagon Punch, which gives Digimon 3,000 more DP, and if that Digimon has 16,000 DP or more, it gets blocker, reboot, and security attack +1. So you can give your dude some massive security spikes as well as being able to be a blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So now Black Wargreymon, if you use this Gomamon once, has a security attack +1, as well as 16,000 DP with a Digiburst skill of being able to unsuspend itself. So unlike OTK Green, Black Wargreymon can actually win in one turn because unsuspending yourself is a much stronger ability than gaining security attack, because that you can win the turn that you choose to do the OTK. While with Chaosmon and Grand Quagamon, if your only or last attacker is that Digimon, you can clear the security, but you can't win that turn because you're using that attack to clear security. While this one, in a perfect world, right? Let's just imagine a perfect world of Black Wargreymon, right? You play this card, so you play Gomamon, right? Say that you've evolved from the raising area all the way up to Black Wargreymon. You use Gomamon to get rid of your ultimate, because, or not their ultimate, your champion, because I don't think there's any good champions in this list, right? Yeah, they don't have any effects. So you use Gomamon to gain 2000 DP, so now you're black, and then you evolve into Black Wargreymon, which means now you have 16,000 DP, while you have Ryzemon underneath, right? So you attack security, and then you play the final Zubagon Punch if you have enough memory, right? But that's best case scenario. But even we're not going to count this card, so we're just not going to count it because it's not as fun, right? You attack security, you have Ryzemon underneath, and now you reach that threshold of 13k. So you can attack 2 security for 13k, right? Then you get rid of the Gogmamon and whatever your level 2 was, right? And also you have this all turns your Digimon gains 1000 DP with Gomamon, so that first attack is actually 14k. And if you have a rookie that I don't have, where's my rookies? There they are. If you have a rookie here, none of them really help you. Never mind. So you can attack with 14k, right? With the first 2 security checks. Then you digiburst, you get rid of the Goemon and the rookie, the level 2 that's underneath you. So now you're just a unsuspended Wargreymon, Black Wargreymon, that still has Ryze underneath. So now you can attack again, check another 2 security, or win the game, one or the other, depending on how much security you checked. Those Black Wargreymon strategy is really, really cool. And of course, if you don't win the game that turn, and you just want to remove something off the board, you can use Chaosmon to do the big boy checks. Unfortunately, Ryze doesn't work on Chaosmon because it has to be exactly a Black Digimon, but it is an option there for you. Another good card that's new to the set is Toy Agumon. If your opponent did not attack, you could draw an extra card. It's really relevant because this deck does play a few blockers. And then Kaporimon, if this Digimon's a blocker, it gains 1000 DP, which is pretty useful whenever you play this final Zubagon Punch, because now your Black Wargreymon becomes a blocker and gains even more DP, which means that I think it gets 15. It becomes a 15k DP guy if you didn't increase your DP with Goemon. So 15k DP means that you'll be able to block most Omnimons, right? Then you play Izzy. Izzy is a really good tamer because it lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Even if you don't gain that memory from the effect, you get to reorganize the top 3 cards, which means you're essentially choosing what you're going to draw for the next 3 draws, which is great. I mean, that's awesome. Being able to go, all right, from the next 3 draws, I really want to make sure I have the 4, then the level 5, then the level 6, not the 6, 4, then 5. See what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really useful to be able to control your top deck. So I really like this black deck. It's the only black deck I like. So that's going to be it for this deck. Let's move on to the next one. We have two or three purple lists. We have quite a few purple lists because purple is always versatile with its colors. First thing we're going to show off is the Devimon list, because we like Dan Devimon, because his name's Dan, because they localized it to Dan, and we love Daniel. Dan Devimon is cool because it has a once per turn, being able to, when a card is removed from your security stack, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. It's actually really cool if you play something like TK. But I digress. It doesn't really work that way very well. And on deletion, your opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand. So you actually have a little bit of hand control if you choose to delete your own Dan Devimon while your opponent has a really low hand size, which is really, really cool, actually. It's not very easy to do because you actually have to delete it through a security attack or something, because we're not playing Chimeramon in this list. But if you want to play Chimeramon, it's a really cool strategy. The way that we get this guy on the board is through Demi Devimon here. If you have 7 or more Digimon cards with Devimon in their names in your trash, you may play 1 Dan Devimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. So this is an on deletion effect. I believe this happens. So I have to double check the ruling on this, but I don't think this Devimon will count on deletion, because the effect triggers whenever you get deleted, but not before you hit the trash, I think, but I could be wrong about that. But we do play quite a few Devimons in this list. We play, of course, the rookie Devimon because it's a good card. Gabumon will let you trash cards from your hand, which means you can trash Devimons. Retaliation Devimon is just free board clearing a lot of the time. It also is a way to attack with this Demi Devimon to get 2 more Devimons in the trash, and sometimes even proc the ability to play Dan Devimon if you have another Devimon on the board, which is nice as well. We play a blocker Devimon, we play Lady Devimon to draw more cards as your consistency. And then I'm playing this cool little like Cerberusmon package. I'm just trying it out, and I like this so far when it works. It has an on deletion effect of trigger, draw 2, and trash 1 card from your hand, which is just nice in general. But how this card works, right, at least like how to get the most value out of it, is that you attack either a Digimon on the board, or if you're feeling really risky, attack security, right? And then you play down Cerberusmon Werewolf mode, which has Rush and has the ability to delete, and on play you delete one of your Cerberusmon to gain 9 memory. So essentially becomes a free extra attack hard play on the board, while also triggering the Cerberusmon effect to draw 2 cards and trash 1 card. So when it works, it's amazing. But if you don't like it, you can easily cut the package out. It's not like the best package in the world, but it's really, really good for like pushing for game. But it's an easily cuttable strategy. We're still playing Maestamon because I like Maestamon a lot. I think Maestamon's really good for this style of deck. But you can play any level 6 purple like Lilithmon, Pluto Mon. What's some other decent ones? Those are the only two that come to mind. You could also employ a Impmon strategy for evolving into Beelzemon into this deck list if you like blind trashing from the top of your deck. I personally don't anymore because purple has so many ways to just trash from your hand that it just feels unnecessary, but it is something you can very easily pull off in this deck list. Let's see if I can quickly. All right. So yeah, so there's that. We also play Millenniumon because once your Masonmon hits the board, it's kind of worthless. Same with like Devimon. If you just want removal from the board, you can easily do that as well. We also play Hell's Gate because it's a great removal card for level 6 or higher Digimon. Matt is good, and Jack Raid gains you memory, which is really easy to pull off in this list because you're already trying to fill up your trash anyway, so might as well play Jack Raid to gain you that extra memory. And then Devimon is a great egg to give you retaliation, which once again is easy to do because you are trying to fuel your trash. And then Demimeramon draws you more cards to fuel your trash, which is great. So that's the purple list there. Number 2 purple list is, which one is this one? This one is, I'll let you know in a second, I promise. It is the Metal Garurumon list. So this is a cool one, another promo list, but this is really, really cool. So Metal Garurumon has a Digiburst skill of being able to play a 7-cost option card, a purple option card from your hand without paying its memory cost. And we have a really strong purple option card in Nailbone, being able to play a level 5, play 1 level 4 and level 3 Digimon from your trash without paying the memory cost, and no skills effect on the on-play wise. If you have 2 of these in hand while you play Metal Garurumon, you can potentially get +4 Digimon on the board for free, which is essentially this is a big deck that says, hey, checkmate. Do you have a way to deal with my big board? Do you have a Wargreymon that's going to delete a bunch of my guys? Potentially a Volk if they have. I mean, Volk can get rid of your level 3s, occasionally level 4s if they're really weak, but that's not going to happen. Or an Omnimon Ultra S as well that can get rid of your weaker level 4s. But it's essentially saying, hey, deal with my board or you're going to lose. Because my guy, I'm summoning blockers off my trash. I'm summoning dudes that can attack. Some guys have some decent on deletion effects, such as the Pyramon, which is good. So it's either deal with me or bust. That's the deck. We're also playing Anubismon because Anubismon can play Digimon from your trash and gain rush. So like the big dream, right, is you already have an Anubismon on board. You use Metal Garurumon's effect twice. And because all of them are played from the trash this turn, because this Digimon gives the ability of all Digimon that are played from the trash gain rush, all the Digimon that you summoned off the board the same turn all get rush, which means they can all attack the same turn they were played from Metal Garurumon's Nailbone ability. So in a perfect world, you have Anubismon, Metal Garurumon, plus 4 more Digimon. You have 6 attacks in a perfect world. Also, if you evolved from Anubismon on that turn, the same time, for whatever reason, that is 7 attacks because Anubismon will summon something from the trash as well, which is nutty. But of course, that is a big dream scenario. I think it's only happened 1 in 10 games for me. But when it does happen, you're going to be so happy. You also play Trump Sword because it's also a removal option in this deck, 7 cost. And we play Trump Sword and not Hell's Gate because we play Drakemon, I should say, that lets you return a purple, a 1 cost or 7 cost purple option from your trash. So if you have to use Nailbone or Trump Sword throughout the game, you can easily get them back thanks to both Drakemon and your Matt Ishida. You also play Millenniumon because it's just a busted card and a bunch of other consistency cards. So that's going to be that list. And then the final purple list is going to be Pluto Mon Purple. This is just consistency of the deck, right? This deck doesn't do anything crazy. It just has cards that are good for drawing and being able to win the game with. Gabumon triggers draw 1 on attacking. We do attack with some guys sometimes, such as the Devimon for retaliation attacks to draw cards, and just attacking security in general. But the whole point of this deck is just to, build up into Plutomon and abuse Plutomon. Plutomon has a great ability of on evolution, draw 2 cards, which is already just a good ability because you're not trashing anything, and you can play a purple option card with a memory cost of 6 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. So it's a diet Metal Garurumon. It's more consistent because you don't need to have 2 Digimon underneath yourself to pull it off. So you can just hard play an ultimate if you need to, and then evolve directly into this. But yeah, it's an easy way to play something with removal like Hell's Gate, Night Raid, or Deathclaw. I mean, these are not exactly expensive cards, but being able to play these cards for free is really, really nice as well. To be able to evolve and also play these cards to save you memory. You also play things like Anubismon, like we mentioned earlier. Anubismon actually is really nice paired with Night Raid. because it gives you the ability to attack with those Digimon the same turn you play them. And then of course we just play consistency card. Nothing too crazy with this deck list. You just have all the good stuff purple has, but have even more consistency than any other purple deck would. And then the last two cards we're going to talk about are two Mega Zoo lists. If you guys know me from the channel, Mega Zoo is probably my favorite archetype in Digimon, at least at the moment. We'll see if that changes. So we have two different lists for you. We have a Chaosmon green-yellow list that plays some blue cards for the techs and some other random text in here. Because yellow has an insane amount of recovery thanks to the addition of Lucemon, and you have a Digimon that can evolve from all these yellow boys. And then you have some really cheeky strategies with Kairi and TK, which we'll talk about here. But Lucemon obviously recovers, Magna Angemon recovers, Vmon gets you extra draws with Devimon as well as jamming, and because you're playing blue, you have the ability to play Kaiser Nail. Kaiser Nail will let you reuse the effects of Magna Dramon, a Puppetmon, and even Magna Angemon as well. If you evolve them to Chaosmon that turn, which is really cool. Of course, both Chaosmons are good for removal and control. This Chaosmon is great because if it gets deleted, then you just gain 3 memory anyways, which is really nice. So it becomes pretty much like, please let me get deleted in security, I beg you kind of card, you know what I mean? And then we're playing some other really interesting cards. I'm trying out something that I'm not really sure if I'm a huge fan of. First of all, I should talk about Lotusmon. This is a great card. If your opponent plays level 4 or lower Digimon, they get suspended, which means you can easily just start beating over Digimon if they try to swarm the board with their level 4 or lower guys, which is great against Rookie Rush because they always come in suspended, which means you always have a chance to attack over them before they attack you. I'm playing Machine Dramon. I like having a blocker in this list that can threaten your opponent because once again, it can also evolve into this Chaos one, which is nice. I'm also playing Dan Devimon because I love the skill that it has for this deck. Being able to trash a top card of your opponent's security stack every time they attack you. Your security stack has a chance to recover a lot, which means sometimes they can attack your security, you get a recovery, and you get to trash their security at the same time. It's not the greatest card in the world because you have to play it. Like, you don't have any other option in this deck. You just play it from your hand. Of course, you are a Mega Zoo recovery deck, so it's not exactly the most shocking news in the world, but it's a card that doesn't get to take advantage of Chaosmon, which means it is a little bit of a slower option, but being able to tell your opponent, hey, be careful when you attack my security, feels really, really nice as well. Tokaida's Breath, because we're a blue deck. Tactical Retreat is once again one of those cards that can give you recovery +1 on security, but has the ability to place one of your Digimon on top of your security stack face down. So you can say, for instance, you've attacked with your Magna Angemon, right? Let's actually change this up a little bit. How about say you attacked with your Lotusmon, right? Lotusmon did its thing. All right, it attacked, it survived security. Now you're just chilling. You're just like, huh, well, I don't really want this Lotusmon on the board because it's just going to be attacked next turn by your opponent's Digimon and deleted. So what do? Well, you use Tactical Retreat, and now your opponent has to keep in mind that there's a 12k Digimon in security. So that's a problem for them to deal with. And also you get a recovery, which is really nice. And of course you are, oh, this is the really cool one as well. You get Kairi here. Kairi is when one of your Digimon get removed from security stack, you may suspend this. When one of your cards is removed from your security attack, you may suspend this Digimon to gain 1 memory. This is crazy, specifically if you get multiple Kairi on the board. Imagine having 3 Kairi on the board, and every time your opponent attacks your security, they lose 3 memory. Or at least once per turn. And then TK also triggers it, because even though TK is recovering that security that you just took, because you are removing a card from your security, TK will trigger the Kairi. So if you have multiple Kairi on the board and you play TK, this TK can become a potentially free TK, which is crazy. Being a memory tamer plus the ability to be free is kind of insane. And if you remove your own security through any other means, which I don't think there is any other means to do it, but like, it's just like a cool combo you can keep in mind. Of course, the Chaos ones are good. That's it for this list. And then we're going to go ahead and go over the last stick here, which is my favorite list, not of this format, but of last format, which is Ragna Mega Zoo. But now we have access to Chaosmon as well. So beforehand, you played cards like Omnimon and Millenniumon, which are both really good cards, but the Chaos ones give you a lot more utility that those cards could not give you. Omnimon deletes things with 5,000 DP or less, but Chaosmon deletes 2 things with 7,000 DP or less, which is most of the time better unless you're dealing with a card that is, unless you're dealing with like Rookie Rush or something like that. If you're dealing with Rookie Rush, you always have access to Volcanic Dramon and stuff like that, and you play blockers in this list as well. Also, Chaosmon is just free spot removal while also being a piercer. The only thing it doesn't remove are like Omnimon or other Chaosmon, right? But you can also remove other Chaosmon by crashing if you want to. You don't have to, but it is an option. You still play Ragnar Lordmon because you have all the consistency options and Zubamon and whatnot. I still play Puppetmon and Magnadramon, but they all have value now because you play Chaosmon. So that's the biggest thing about this list now. Your cards that used to not have value, just be cards that are good because they're good cards and recovering and stalling the game, now have a lot more value because they can immediately evolve into Chaosmon, and then Kaisernail becomes a lot better in this list. Beforehand, I thought Kaisernail was just kind of mediocre because all it would do is play more Durandamon, which you just evolve again, or play Volcanic Dramon, I guess, but or even Machine Dramon to activate its effect. But now they have a lot more value because these cards are so much better to play off of Kaisernail. So Kaisernail becomes a better card, and then you can still play Gaia Force because you're playing, which is the difference between this list versus this list I just showed you guys. This list is recovering, which means it has the weakness of being able to get rushed by your opponent, so you lose. Because if you don't hit enough recovery cards, if you don't recover enough, you're just going to lose because your opponent rushed you. Well, this card has the advantage of being able to remove cards off the board and win the game faster because you have a lot of security attack pluses, but also being able to potentially lose if you brick. And this deck will brick a little bit more than this deck because this deck has a lot more cards it can just play that are useful throughout the game. Well, this card is just like play the Mega. If you don't have advantage, you have to play the Mega anyways because you're probably going to evolve into a level 7 sooner or later. So there's that. So these are going to be the decks. I didn't keep count of how many decks I played. I showed you guys. It might have been 14, but I think it was probably 14, but whatever. These are the decks that I've really liked in my testing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know if there's any decks that I missed that you guys want to see in the future. I can make a part 2 to this video. I can make a part 2 of the decks that I missed, plus some of the decks that you guys want to see that I didn't showcase, such as the Shine Greymon, Imperial Dramon, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. My voice is shot. I did this all in one take, which is about an hour of talking. So for me, like the video, share the video, tell all your friends, hey, if you're looking for a deck to build, try out one of these lists that AURABOMB showed over here, or I guess is my YouTube name now, and I would greatly appreciate that. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.